All right, what's up, y'all? Just got this thing washed up, and it's been a little while. She was filthy. We've been on the road for a little bit, but got her all washed up, nice and clean, ready to rock and roll one more time. So we're about to hit the road. For a little bit, just to get some miles out today. It's a beautiful day. It's a little warm, but it's still an amazing day for riding. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll get on the road, and I'm gonna bring you with me because I just got a couple things I want to share with you. So stick around. Let's roll that intro. All right, you guys. I figured today's as good as any for introductions. I want to take just a few moments to let you know just a little bit about me, about who I am, and about this channel, and kind of why I started it and what I hope to achieve. So let's start with a little bit of me, man. My name is Rev. I'm here in Midland, Texas. You can see this huge skyline here in Midland, Texas. If you don't know where Midland is, it's all right, because we know where you are. Just kidding, that was dumb. But Midland, Texas, man, we're in West Texas, Midland, Odessa, Permian Basin area. This is where all the dirt and all the oil are, right? At least most of it, majority of it here in West Texas. But this is where I live, man. This is where I'm from, born and raised here. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about kind of where I'm coming from as far as motorcycles go, you guys. Growing up, I grew up riding dirt bikes with my dad, and I did that for a few years. That was an introduction to motorcycles as a kid, and it wasn't until later in life that I got into Harley Davidsons. One of those things probably some of you can relate to is, you grow up and then, you have a family, you get a job, all those kinds of things. And Harleys have always been something that I wanted. I always knew that I wanted a Harley, but just was never in the position to get one till a little bit later in life. So that's what I did, man. Got to the point to where I could afford a Harley and picked one up. My first Harley, if you watched one of my earlier videos, I talk a little bit about it, but my first Harley was a 2014 Street Bob. Just a little bar hopper, man, and cruised out for a couple years, and I stepped up to a Street Glide, and man, I put some miles on that. I realized I wanted, a little bit bigger bike, a highway bike to do more miles on. So I picked up a Street Glide, traded in the Street Bob, and then after a few years with the Street Glide, man, I traded that one in for this thing right here, this 24 Road Glide. Sorry, this 24 Road Glide, and I've been hammering miles on this thing since I got it just a few months ago. It hasn't been too long since I've had this thing. But anyway, that's kind of where I came from and where I'm at as far as motorcycles go. And and I tell you that just to let you know, and give you kind of some history and setup as far as why I started this channel. So when I got my first Harley, I did what most people do, probably what a lot of you did, and I started looking to customize it. I had this Street Bob, and I started looking for handlebars and seats and just parts to make it stand out, to make it my own. And did the same thing with the Street Glide, and I'm doing the same thing here with this Road Glide. So that's kind of the process I think we all go through when we buy Harleys, is we want to make them our own. At least most of us do. Anybody who's cool does that. If you leave it stock, then something wrong with you. But that's kind of what we do, and that's what I did. I've done that with all three bikes that I've owned. And but as I did that, and me being from where I'm from Midland, Texas here. Me being from where I'm from, I start looking at parts, but not just parts for my bike. I also start looking at things for myself. Apparel and helmets and footwear, and I'm wearing a Dixon flannel right now. I got a few of these in my closet. But you start looking at parts, you start looking at things to kind of set yourself apart from everybody else. And what happened is I kind of jumped in and submerged myself into the culture, right? The motorcycle culture, and you start figuring out, you know, which companies and which manufacturers you like and which ones you don't like, and what kind of styles, you know, appeal to you, and all that kind of stuff. And as I was building, and this is true for all three bikes, as I'm building these bikes out, man, I noticed it when I had the Street Bob, but it's kind of developed a little bit more past few years. But the thing I noticed is that, man, all the, you know, the scene, man, the bike scene, as far as customization and manufacturers and artists and production, like, man, most of those things, man, I would, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 90% of all of these things, whether it's for your bike or whether it's apparel or gear for yourself, man, about 90% of all of these things are coming out of one place. And I'll give you a guess. I'll give you two guesses as to what place that is. And if you've been in the scene, if you've done what I'm doing, then you probably know already. That place is California, man. All the manufacturers, you know, artists, man, that are painting bikes and doing things like that. Just all the scene, man, all the parts are coming out of California, man. That's where all the shops are. And man, that's one of the first things I noticed, is all the parts that I'm buying for my bikes are coming out of California. You know, and man, I don't have a problem with that, man, because man, California, the scene is sick there, bro. We got some amazing manufacturers, man, amazing artists, amazing builders out there, and the scene is strong out there, man. So I'm not hating on Cali one bit, man. You know, parts I got on this bike right now are from Cali. So again, not hating, bro. Mad props, mad respect to the builders and the artists and manufacturers out there. Man, that's where the scene's at. It's strong and it's heavy. And when I see bikes from, you know, here in Texas, when I see bikes on the East Coast or up north, man, they're all sporting the same, you know, the same manufacturers, and they're all coming out of Cali, man. So Cali is dominating, bro, when it comes to the scene, at least in my opinion and from my experience, right? So that's the first thing I noticed, and that's kind of one of the reasons I started this channel. That's the main reason I started this channel. One, because I love Harleys, but also because, man, I really, me being from Texas, I really want to see for myself, but I also want to give a, you know, a platform, and not that they don't have, you know, a platform already, but man, if I'm asking these questions, you know, somebody who bought a Harley and is looking to customize, if I'm running into this problem, I'm probably not the only one. So, man, my mission is to man, look for these Texas builders, these Texas artists, man, these Texas manufacturers, right? I want to find these guys. I want to expose. That's probably not a good word, right? Expose. I'm going to expose myself to you. No, I'm not doing that. But what I want to do is just shine a light on the culture scene, the Harley motorcycle culture scene here in Texas, right? I know what Cali's doing, man, and they're doing it very well. But I want to see where Texas is at, man. I want to see where Texas is being represented. And I'm not just talking about people that are man, doing exactly what Cali's doing, you know, just copying what some builders doing out there. I'm talking about the originals, man, the original artists, the original builders, man, that have their own ideas, have a little bit different style, and are trying to bring that out, man. That's who I'm looking for, and that's what I want to see. Because I'll tell you this about me, and you know, customizing this bike, or my bikes anyway, is that you know, my style is it's my style, man. It's not necessarily you know, what someone else would do, and that's true of all of us, right? But if you think about, you know, when I'm thinking about this, I think about my background and where I come from, you know, and all the things that go into what I like to see and what's important for me when it comes to customizing my bike. And I'll tell you what those things are and kind of how that developed, at least for me. You know, me being from Midland, Texas, man, I am Mexicano. You know, I'm American. I'm a Texan. I was born and raised here, but I do have some Mexican heritage. You know, that's where my family's from. And growing up with my tios, you know, and you know, my uncles and my dad, you know, that was the influence I grew up with. But here's the thing: is my dad and my tios, my uncles, they were not building lowriders, you know, in the garage. My dad and my uncles, they were building hot rods, man. They were building hot rods in the garage, and that's what I was exposed to, and that's what I saw. And don't get me wrong, I love, you know, going to car shows. I love seeing the lowrider cars, man. I love seeing the Impalas and the Cutlasses, the Regals. Like, man, I love, you know, that scene. And you know, that's definitely a part of my heritage. But for me personally, like if I have money and I'm gonna buy a car as a project car, I'm buying myself a hot rod, man. Like, that's what I'm doing, because that's where my influence is. That's kind of what my likes are, and that's what I grew up with. So again, I'm not hating on anything. I'm just explaining to you kind of what I like personally and what went into kind of molding that, you know. So that's what I grew up with, and that's what I saw. So when it comes to motorcycles, you know, I see, man, the Vikla scene in California, man, it's very strong, and there's a lot of people doing Viklas very well out there. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to own one. I'd love to have a Vikla in my collection. But for this bike here, you know, for my bike that I'm riding and I'm paying for and I'm building myself, I'm not trying to build a Vikla. I'm trying to build a bike for me. You know, and that's going to be a mix of, yes, my Mexican heritage, but also, man, Texas, where I'm from. Like, it's going to represent Texas. It's going to have a little hot rod style in there, and all the things that go into kind of what I like and what went into molding and shaping my preferences and my taste. Those things are going to come out in this bike. So that's when I'm looking, you know, for Texas builders and manufacturers and artists, because, you know, I want a little bit different style. I want my bike to stand out just like everybody else does. But man, there's a particular style that I'm going for. I don't necessarily want to duplicate some guy's Vikla build on a Road Glide. I don't necessarily want to duplicate the performance bagger, you know, that everybody else is doing. Although I like performance, I want my bike to be fast, I want it to be loud, you know, but I also want it to look good and stand out. Woo! Look at that wind. You know, I want all those things, you guys, but I want to do all those things, you know, in my style, and not just necessarily bolt on parts that everybody else is bolting on, because there seems to be a formula for the Vikla bikes, and there seems to be a formula for the performance baggers, and you know, that's great and they look good, but man, that's not what I want for this bike. I want this bike to represent me in all aspects of me. So that's a little bit of everything, and that includes Texas, man. So all that, guys, all that background, all that, just to kind of explain to you where I'm coming from, and kind of the question that popped up into my head and what I'm looking for, man. I really want, and that doesn't mean I'm going to put only Texas parts on here. I'm gonna put the parts that stand out to me and that I like and that are pleasing to me, and well, you know, no matter where it's from, you know. But I really do want to explore and discover, and I say discover like nobody else has discovered them. I know they're out there, man. I've come across a few already. I've come across some artists. I've come across some manufacturers here in Texas, man, that are doing amazing things. So I want to spotlight those people, but I also want to find more. Like, who else is doing it? Who else is doing it, man? Who else is doing a good job? Who else is killing the game here in Texas? Who else is original and has a passion for what they're doing when it comes to Harleys and motorcycle culture, man, and representing Texas and what they do? So, man, that's what I want to do. You know, I'm building this bike out, and I'm going to bring you along with me. But along the way, as I'm building this bike out, man, I want to put I want to shine a light on, you know, some Texas motorcycle culture. So listen, if you're in that scene, man, if you know of a builder, you know of an artist, you know of you know, just anything associated with motorcycles that's based here in Texas, man, shoot me a message or leave it down in the comments, you know. That way I can follow up, I can do some research, and man, maybe it'd be awesome if I could you know, feature them on the channel. That'd be so great. But yeah, let me know, man. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, people, you know, about kind of where you're at and what you would recommend. But that's kind of why I started this channel, and I'm gonna keep building this bike out, and I'm gonna bring you along for that. You know, I'm gonna do product reviews and things like that. You know, but along the way, we'll have some other things as well, which will be really fun, man. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for it, and I hope you are as well. So this will be a journey we take together. So you know, if anything's worth doing, it's worth bringing people along with you, and I'm excited for it. All right, you guys, we are back. Did about 100 miles today. Just took a little cruise around town, cruise around the city for a little bit, but we're back. I got some bugs on the windshield, and man, it was a good day. It's a good day. It's about 97 degrees out here today, so a little warm, but man, the sun is out, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, birds are chirping, and man, there's no reason not to be out riding. But anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out with me today again. Thanks for letting me hang out with you, and we'll see you on the next one. You guys, remember, wherever you go, there you are. Make the most of it.